So these are the book problems. I thought I'd hurry and run through them with you. I'm not going to go super slow, hopefully not. Try to go through them rather quickly. On number 9, I see it's a plus. These are different numbers. That means it's an ellipse. So I know that it's going to be an ellipse. So all that I have to do now is draw my XY grid, axis, coordinate grid. My center is going to be at 2, 0. Okay, so I come to my graph. I come over here to 2, 0, put a dot. Square root of 9 is 3. So in the x direction, I go 3, 3. In the y direction, I go 4, 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. I connect those to make an ellipse. Okay. Now I label all these points. That vertex is at 2, 4. This one's at 5, 0. This one is at -2, -4. This one's at 0, -1. And this point is at 2, 0. That's a positive 2. I don't know why I put negative. That's a positive 2, 0. Okay. Or 2, -4. Now the focus, remember, since it's inside a parabola, it's subtract. Always bigger one minus smaller one. So 16 minus 9. So c squared equals 7. So c equals the square root of 7. That's a little bit more than 2. A little bit smaller than 9. I mean, yeah, so smaller than 9, which is 3. So I'm going to go somewhere in here. So this point is going to be 2, and then negative square root of 7 because I went 0 minus that. And this point is going to be 2, and I add the square root of 7 to that y value, so that's a plus. And so that's everything that you're supposed to find on that. Okay, we determined that it's an ellipse. Okay, identify the center, the vertices, the endpoints. You don't need to do the eccentricity. If you do this, this is what I'm after. Okay. Okay, question number 10. It has a minus between them. These are different. As soon as you see the minus, though, that's all you need to know. It's a hyperbola. Okay. Some people say hyperbole. I'm not sure which one's the correct way, but anyways, that's what it is. Again, the center is at 2, 0, so I'm going to put a center there at 2, 0. Square root of 9 is 3. Whoops. So in the x direction, I go 3, 3. Square root of 16 is 4. So in the y direction, I go 4 and 4. I'm going to label these points right now while I'm doing it. That's 5, 0. This is -1, 0. This is 2, 4. This is 2, -4. Okay. Since it's a hyperbola, I know I'm going to make a rectangle. I connect my corners. Since it's the y that's negative, I know I could kind of erase the y and it's going to go over the x's, okay? So this is my vertex. So this is my vertex, 5, 0, -1, 0. That's my vertex. And it's going to come out this way. Going to come here. Going to come through there, go out. Going to come here, go out. Okay? So that's what my hyperbola is going to look like. I need to find the focus. So again, that's outside of here, so you add those together. So it's 16 plus 9. So that's 25. So C equals 5. So my focus is 5 units from the center. So I add 5 onto that and 5 over here. So this is now at 7, 0. This one is at -3, 0 for that focus. Okay, if you wanted to, you could come up with equations for these lines. I'm not really worried about that for now. Like I said, this is kind of a crash course in what we're doing. um, with this stuff. Okay, so number 11, because there's one of them that's squared and the other is not squared, I know that this is a parabola. So I'm going to get the squared stuff alone. So I minus the y over to here. And then I'm going to get rid of that divide by 16. So I multiply everything by 16. So now what I have is x minus 2 squared equals negative 16y. So I'm to the point now where I can graph everything. So my vertex is at 2. There's nothing with the y to make it go anywhere, so it's at 2, 0. Okay. And now because it's my x that's squared, I remember just y equals x squared makes it go up and down, or makes it go like this. So a negative makes it go down, so I know it's going to go down. To find the p-value, I know that 4p has to equal negative 16. So it's always 4p equals whatever this number is. So therefore, p equals negative 4. So that's 1, 2, 3, 4. So my focus, let's put this here. This is a 2, 0. This is negative 4, 0 for my focus. Okay. And then across here needs to be 16. So that's 8 in this direction. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. So 8 plus 2 means that's at 10. I'm not sure where negative 4, 0 came from on this. So hopefully you're thinking the same thing, like where did that come from? That's 2, negative 4. There we go. And that's 10, negative 4. Then 8 from this side, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. That's negative 6, negative 4. So I know my parabola looks something like this. Yeah, like that. Generally like that. So focus. This is the axis of symmetry. So this is x equals 2. If I come up here 4 more, so I went 4 to get to the focus. If I come up 4 the other direction, this is called the directrix. And y equals 4 because it's 4 above. Okay. So everything that you could have on here, you now have labeled. Okay. The next question has it like this. X squared and y squared both have 1s in front of them. It's a plus. Therefore, this is a circle. So x squared minus 4x plus y squared minus 6y minus that 1 to the other side. I don't have to factor anything out. That's very nice. Half of 4 is 2. 2 squared is 4, so I add 4 to each side because it's not inside a parenthesis. Half of 6 is negative 3. Negative 3 squared is 9. Again, it's not in a parenthesis, so I just add 9 to each side. 9 plus 4 is 13, minus 1 is 12. This factors to be x minus 2 quantity squared plus y minus 3 quantity squared equals 12. So that means the center, whoa, that's a straight line. I wish. So my center is at 2, 3. Let's move everything down. Yeah, that's hard to match up. There we go. And the radius is the square root of 12. Square root of 9 and square root of 16 is 3 and 4. So the square root of 12 is about, it's a little closer to 9 than 16. So about 3 and a little bit less than half. So 3, 3, 3, 3. So in here, I'm just going to put this as the square root of 12. Or if I wanted to, I could say that's 4 and 3. That's 2 and 2. Power 2's come out. Or it's 2 square roots of 3. Okay, and my center is at 2, 3. So now I just draw my circle. And you can use your imagination and make it look like a circle. Question number 13. Again, I have two of them that are squared, but this is a negative in front of the x, so therefore I know this is a hyperbola. So 16y squared plus 64y minus 9x squared. There's nothing to go out else to go with my x's, equals 512. I factor out a 16 from the y's, so that's y squared plus 4y minus 9x squared. There's nothing more to do with that, equals 512. So now I take half of 4, that's 2. 2 squared is 4. But I really didn't add 4. I added 4 times 16, so I really added 64 over here. So now what I have is 16y plus 2 quantity squared minus 9x squared equals 576. So now I divide each of these by 576. So I come to my calculator, 576 divided by 9, 64. 576 divided by 16 is 36. So this is negative x squared over 64. This is y plus 2 quantity squared over 36. Minus equals 1. So now it's in this form. So now it's easier to graph. Struggling getting straight lines today. So my center is at 0, negative 2. I go 6 units in the y direction, 8 units in the x direction. So I come here and I go 8 over here from 0. So that's at negative 8, negative 2. I come 8 this way. So that's at 8, negative 2. The y direction I go 6. So 3, 4, 5, 6. So that's now at 0, negative 8. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. That's at 0, positive 4. Because it's a hyperbola, I draw my little rectangle. Connect the corners of my rectangle. Whoa, that's not good. That's a little better. Okay, the x is negative, so it's like I can get rid of the x-axis. It's going to go up and down over the y. And now I can also do c squared equals a squared plus b squared. So 36 plus 64 makes 100. So c squared equals 100. So c equals 10. So that's 10 from here. So that's up 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. So there's one focus. So 0, 8. And I'm going to go down here 1, 2, 3, 4 more. There's my other focus. That's 0, negative 12. Okay, so those are my focal points. There we go. Not that that shows up a ton better, but anyways, that's the focal point. That's what I'm interested in is this right here. Okay, you can come up with the equations for these asymptotes, but really everything that's on there is what I'm after. Okay. So number 14, it's a plus between these, so I know it's going to be an ellipse because they are different numbers. So I have 9x squared plus 72x plus 25y squared minus 50y equals 731. So now I take out a 9 from each of those, so I get x squared plus 8x. Leave some room, take a 25 out of each of those. That leaves me with y squared minus 2y. Leave a little room, equals 731. Half of 8 is 4. 4 squared is 16. So 16 times 9, I believe, is 144. So I add 144 over here. Half of 2 is 1. 1 squared is still 1. But really didn't add 1. I added 25 times 1, so I add 25 over to here. So now this will factor to be x plus 4 quantity squared plus 25y minus 1 quantity squared equals 731 plus 144 plus 25. So 900. So now I need it to equal 1 when we're working with an ellipse or a hyperbola. We want it to equal 1. So I divide it by 900. 900 divided by 9 is 100, so I have x plus 4 quantity squared over 100 plus 900 divided by 25 should be 36. 36 quarters make, anyways, $9, so that's what I did. So 36, y minus 1 squared equals 1. So now I have what I need to graph -4, +1. So -4, +1. Square root of 100 is 10, so I come out here 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. I'm going to label that. That's -14 and +1. This is -4 and +1. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. So that's 6 and 1. Y direction I go 6, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. How to label that point? That's -4 and 7. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Label that point. That's -4 and -5. So since it's an ellipse, we connect them to make that football. Whoa. There's what's called the eccentricity, and you can calculate it, and that tells you if this is more flat or more steep. What I mean is, does it really like go like this, or is it more like this? Okay, so is it really like pointed, or is it really flat? So I don't know if you can see the difference in those shapes, but that's kind of what it's saying is it more like this, or is it more pointed on the ends? So that's what the eccentricity stands for. I'm not going to go through and how to calculate it. I just want you guys to do this part. We need to find the focal points. So remember, on the inside of a ellipse, they subtract, so it's 100 minus 36, which makes 64. So the square root of 64 is 8. So I go 8 units each direction. So this is 4, 1. That's a focal point. 8 units from here. -12, 1. This is your major axis, minor axis, okay? So that's number 14. Number 15, it's so nice. It's all set up for us. Notice that it's a plus between them, so it could be a circle, it could be an ellipse. These are both 4s, so I therefore know it's a circle. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to multiply everything by 4. And that 4, when I distribute it to here, becomes 4, 4, and 4. Okay, so now those 4's cancel, so I'm with x plus 4 quantity squared. These 4's cancel. Y minus 1 squared equals 4. So now it looks like a circle. So now I come here. If only my lines looked like lines. So I go left 4, up 1. That's my center of my circle. The square root of 4 is 2. So my radius is 2. So I come 2, 2, 2, and 2. So radius equals 2. And that's it for number 15. You should write circle. Number 16, this is a parabola because only the y is squared, the x is not squared. And it's set up for me so my y's are together. So I'm going to put those together. I'm going to move that 8x to the other side by adding 8x. I'm going to minus the 40. So it is now set up like that. So now half of 8 is 4. 4 squared is 16. And I add 16 to this side as well. So I now have completed the square. Y minus 4 equals 16. On this side I have 8x negative 40 plus 16 is negative 24. So I can divide each of those by 8. So now I have my parabola set up. So right 3 up 4, that's the vertex. So that's 3, 4. I remember that y equals x squared opens up like this. So this is a y squared, so I know it opens sideways. I know that 4p always equals this number. So I divide that by 4, so I get that p equals 2. So that means to the focus is 2. So that's this point, which is going to be 2 more than 3, which makes 5, 4. And then I know that this 8 is how far this line is. So half of 8 is 4. Half of 8 is 4. So I go 4 in each direction. And I now have my parabola drawn. I have my vertex. I have my focus. This line right here would be my directrix, which is x equals 1. I have my axis of symmetry. That's y equals 4. So anyways, those are the other things that you could find on that. So here's a bonus page. Not really, this is to help you on your quiz. You're supposed to come up with the equation for each of these. So this is an ellipse. This is a hyperbola. This is a parabola. Okay, so now for an ellipse, I know that this is my center and it's always backwards. So it's x plus 1 quantity squared. It's a plus between these. Y plus 2 quantity squared equals 1. So these always equal 1. Now I know there's a fraction. In the x direction, I went 1, 2, 3. So I went 3 units. So 3 squared is 9. In the y direction, I went 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 units. So that's 25. That is my equation. Okay, that's it. The hyperbola, x minus 2, because that's the x. Now, because it opens up and down over the y, it's like the x is non-existent, so that means this is my negative 1. Okay, however you remember, I don't care whatever you need to do to remember. The y is the positive one when it goes up and down. So I have y plus 3 because it's always backwards of those. Those are squared equals 1. There's a fraction here. So this is the focus. So 1, 2, 3, 4 up to here and 5 up to the focus. So in my y direction, I go up 16. And on this, I know that c squared equals a squared plus b squared. So c squared in this case, so I went up 5, so that's 25, equals 16 plus some number. So I minus 16 minus 16, so 9 equals b squared. So there's my next one. In other words, I went 3 this way and 3 this way. But that's all I needed to know. So that's my equation. For this one, this is my parabola. It opens to the left. I remember that y equals x squared is my parabola that opens upwards. So this means this is y squared. So y minus k squared equals 4px minus h. So here's my 3, 1 is my vertex. So that's the x is 3, so that's x minus 3. Y is 1, so y minus 1. 4p, so this is a distance of 2. So that means p equals 2, and it's going to the left, so that's negative 8. And I can check that. That's 4, that's 4. That makes a total of 8, so that's it for that one. So that's coming up with the equation for each of those. So hopefully that helps with your assignment, helps you get through the quiz as well. And then you're done with this section. So good luck with that.